You're listening to Safety FM Mini.
This episode of the broadcast and the podcast is brought to you by Safety Focus Moment. They're consultants that want to help you get the safety culture you've been looking for. For more information, go to safetyfocusmoment.com.
Hello and welcome to Safety FM. This is Jay Allen. Well, as you are aware, today is Friday, so you know that this is going to be a mini episode. How have you been? How are things going in your neck of the woods? The conversation today is going to be about goal planning inside of your organization. Let's talk about it here next on Safety FM Mini.
You are listening to a renowned safety expert, Dr. Jay Allen, on Safety FM. Changing safety cultures, one broadcast and one podcast at a time. Join the fun on social media and find us on Facebook at Safety FM.
So let's talk about that for a second. As you are inside of your organization, what are your safety department goals? What are your organizational goals? Have you set those? Do you have some? Because I think sometimes what happens is, as operators, we go in and we think that safety falls under one category or one thing inside of the organization of, let's make everybody safe. Opposed to looking at it that we have to have these goals on what we're trying to get to. And yes, don't get me wrong, getting people home safe is important. I'm not saying that it's not. But what are the goals that you have for the organization? Have you set up your 18-month plan where you're focusing on 3 things in particular? 2 are kind of the front runner of everything that you're doing, and 1 is more along the lines of what you're doing on the back end side. Have you given this conversation any kind of thought? And I'm not going to sit here and ask you tons of questions, but what do you do for your organization as that's being planned out going forward? Safety has to be more along the lines of doing some general practices things inside of the organization and not just philosophy and concepts the whole time. Goal planning will be crucial into your safety culture of your organization. If you make a goal and you don't have a plan, it's more like just a wish. So this is why I say you have to have a plan in place on where you're trying to get to. And I'm not going to sit here and have that conversation of, oh yes, let's drive to 0. I struggle with that. And if you heard me this week on the Accidental Safety Pro with Jill James, you know how much I do struggle with that. Anyways, just something I want you to think about this time around. Let's continue that conversation next week on what you think about this concept. Anyways, I have been your safety manager and host, Jay Allen, and until next time, be safe.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.
Safety FM.